All right, let's start. Unit 1, Introduction to Function. So in this video, we're going to discuss about function. So first, what is function? Generally, let's see, a function is a correspondence between two sets of elements such that to each element in the first set there corresponds one and only one element in the second set. So this is important. Corresponds to only one element in the second set. For example, this is to each person, for example, there corresponds an annual income, right? Everyone has his annual income. For example, let's say David with an annual income of, let's say, 60,000. Let's say James an annual 90,000, and so on and so forth. So the first one, David James, is known as, this one is domain, and the second order is range. Let's add more example. For example, to each student, example, let me use this one, example 2. To each student, there corresponds GMU ID, right? Each of you has your own ID. For example, let's say student X with ID G0 blah blah blah. Student M with ID G0 blah blah blah. So these are, the definition of function. So the other one is, when we deal with function, the first set is known as, the first set is called domain, and the second set is called range. This is also important. For example, look at, for example, this is domain and range. So a pair, for example, let's say instead, let me remove this one. Let's say -2 corresponding to 8. Let's say -1 with -1, 0 with 0, 1, 1. So, or this one, the domain, you can see the first order, -1, -2, -1, 0, and 1. The range, -8, -1, 0, and 1. So in order pair also, when we define a function, it is clearly stated that there corresponds only one element in the second set. For example, if you are given this one, just compare these two examples. For example, you are given this table of domain and range. -2 is here, -1 is here, 0 is here, 1 is here, and 2. If 2 is paired with 4 and +2 with 4, -1 with 1, +1 with 1, and 0, let's say, with 0. If you look at this one, this is a function because these are the domains are unique. So these are a function. That means each element of the domain is paired with an element on the range. So unique or no repetition, in that case it's a function, but not that it is not one-to-one function. It is a function, but it is not one-to-one. The second example for you to compare, for example, domain and range. Let's say 0 is paired with 0, 1 paired with 1 and -1, 4 is paired with 2 and -2, and 9 is corresponding to 3 and -3. You can see that there is a repetition on the domain, right? So the domains are not unique. Domains are not unique because there is repetition because it is 0, 1, and 1. So if you write in terms of order pair, it may be clear. So you can just see that 0 and 0, 1, 1, 1, -1. Do you see the repetition? 1, 1, 1, -1, and 4, 2, 4, -2, 9, +3, and 9, -3. So the domains are not unique. In this case, we call this one is not a function. So in summary, you have to understand the difference between domain and range, and you have to identify also what is given domain and range is a function or not function based on this explanation.